Well, Ernest, Hilaire, Minister of Tourism in St. Lucia.
Welcome to World Travel Market 2022.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. A pleasure to be here.
It's wonderful to be back, and thank you for giving Breaking Travel News some time.
Yes, certainly looking forward to our exchange. It's really delightful to be able to present St. Lucia to multiplicity of stakeholders, interested parties, for operators, airlines, and it's always a very special time of the year for us to come here. It's a real marketplace and real opportunity for us to showcase what St. Lucia has to offer.
So tell us a few of the key points. What are you telling the world?
Well, I think first of all for us we have a lot of good news that as we seem to be moving into a post-COVID pandemic era, St. Lucia has rebounded really well. Presently, our numbers are almost 90% of what it was in 2019, which was the best year for global travel. We are doing really good, especially in the US market. We're actually doing better than 2019. The UK market took a bit of time to open up, but since then we've seen our numbers really increasing. Airlift to St. Lucia is fantastic. We have some very good seats to St. Lucia, and we are doing quite well. St. Lucia recently was awarded the Caribbean leading destination for honeymoon and as well as adventure, the leading adventure destination. It's the first time we won such an award, and we are waiting for the world awards to come. St. Lucia has won the world leading destination for honeymoons for quite a few years, almost 8 years or so. So we're certainly looking forward to that. I mentioned we had gotten the award for adventure, and it really announces that St. Lucia is placing adventure tourism right up front together with the romance sector. And in fact, today we start Adventure Week in St. Lucia. We are really focusing a lot on the sustainability of the tourism industry. For us, tourism can only survive. It can only really bring benefits to our people if it is sustainable. Sustainable from an ecological perspective in terms of our respect for the environment, the conservation, and in some cases preservation of our natural settings. St. Lucia is an island of extraordinary beauty. We have the right balance between beaches as well as mountains, valleys, rivers, waterfalls. Some islands will boast of how many beaches they have, how beautiful they are, but we can boast of beautiful beaches, maybe not as many as them, but we also have a lot of other assets in terms of our physical beauty. It must also be sustainable from the perspective of being socially and economically sustainable. If our people cannot see that they are benefiting from tourism, they become cynical, they become very discouraging of tourism, and that does not augur well for our tourism product. I think St. Lucians are well known throughout the Caribbean for our hospitality, our warmth, our welcoming nature, and probably unparalleled at that. So for us, addressing issues of sustainability ecologically, socially, and economically is really important. And we've actually launched a few initiatives that seeks to promote the economic sustainability by giving the average St. Lucian a greater stake in participating in the tourism industry and even starting to own it. Last week we launched our community tourism program, which really is a signature project of the government, where we are making grant funds as well as loan funds available to individuals and monies to communities to create authentic community experiences. The lady who's making the pepper sauce, how can we take the visitor to come into her kitchen or her workshop space where she's making her pepper sauce? The lady who makes the jams, the lady who makes the clay pots, the woman who's making the baskets. How are those traditional kind of micro-enterprise can it merge with the tourism and to allow visitors to go into their workspaces and to actually see what's happening? We already have the cocoa, the chocolate experience, where through the use of our highly valued cocoa, we have individuals going in, Hotel Chocolat, Caco Saint Plessis, making their own chocolates, taking it back home as gifts and presents for their neighbors and family. And so more and more we'll be creating local experiences. We've just launched what we call a cabaret crawl, which is really similar to a pub crawl, where we have selected places in St. Lucia where you can sit with St. Lucians, play dominoes, play drafts, engage in a debate about sports, about politics, about religion, whilst having a cold pitor or some of the local rum, and just genuinely enjoy life as a St. Lucian would. So I think in St. Lucia, sustainability is really important for us. And like I said, along all three fronts, we really want St. Lucians to see the tourism industry as a source of creating sustainable livelihoods for our people, by giving them a chance to participate in the tourism industry, and more so giving them a chance to own it. We believe that if our people see tourism as a foreign enterprise, foreigners coming in, buying up our best beaches, building those mega resorts and hotels, and they're not really participating in it, it diminishes the value of it, because our people become cynical, they become distrustful, and we don't think that augurs well for sustainability. So it is really a critical point for us, and we're very active in promoting a concept which places our people at the center of the tourism product that we have in St. Lucia, and of course offering authentic experiences for visitors when they come to St. Lucia.
It's an incredibly elegant and eloquent model that you've developed there, Minister. Really impressive in terms of really thinking about things from a holistic point of view. And I think, what I'm hearing is, from an experience perspective as a potential tourist, also that experience kind of component to your strategy, that participation, that experience that I want to have of the island, that authentic experience is you've mapped that into your overarching sustainability strategy.
Yeah.
It's a great model.
And for us, that's critical. We really believe that we have a special island. I mean, like I said, we are an island of extraordinary beauty. And I'll share with you, St. Lucia is called the Helen of the West, named after Helen of Troy. Helen of Troy personified beauty, was the most beautiful, woman alive. And when the explorers came to the Caribbean and they came across St. Lucia, they said, this is the Helen of the West, after the Helen of Troy. And we're the only country in the world to be named after a woman. So it tells you how special we are.
So that's a great kind of rundown of kind of what you've been up to. What can we be expecting to see going forward? So you're going through the winter season now, 2023 and beyond. Give me some colour to that.
Well, I mean, you will see a heightening of our adventure offerings. I did mention earlier, we're encouraging what we call a free pick challenge. You climb the pitors. The pitors are the famous landmarks of St. Lucia, and you add Mount Jimmy to it, which is our highest peak, and it adds to the adventure of St. Lucia. We add into our diving experience more diving sites. So diving itself is enriched. We have more hiking trails. We have more wellness offerings. So we want to expand on that dimension. We also want to have a special feature in terms of the waterfalls in St. Lucia. How many waterfalls can you actually visit and enjoy, that kind of natural setting? For us, more and more, we want to offer the St. Lucian experience, where you can move from a resort-based experience to a community-based experience. And for us next year, this will be a highlight as we drive home the fact that we want St. Lucia to be the absolute expression of authenticity, that you come to St. Lucia and that you really enjoy an authentic St. Lucian experience right across the board. More adventure, more culture, more gastronomy, to really enjoy St. Lucia, to visit the local artisans, the local entrepreneurs, and to actually participate in the everyday livelihoods. And for us, when you do come to St. Lucia, you enjoy the beauty, you enjoy the beaches, you enjoy the rivers, the waterfalls, the sulfur springs, but you also interact with the people and you enjoy life like a Lucia.
And flipping it to the tourists themselves, so from a markets point of view, tell me a little bit about what markets have remained strong, what sort of markets are emerging from a solution, because we're a whole world today, right? Give me a sense of where you are there.
The US market has rebounded, even, like I said, better than 2019. The Canadian market, again, because of the protocols, quite slow. It's now open up. Flights have resumed, and we expect to see some very good action there. The UK was slow to open up, but again has opened up, seeing strong numbers out of the UK. Regional travel is still a major challenge for us. primarily because some of the means of moving around the region had really diminished and virtually went by the wayside during the COVID pandemic. And efforts are now being made to revive and resuscitate regional travel. So this one is a weak spot for us. Continental Europe, we're still trying to find our way. The demand is there, but we've not been able to establish the airlift to be able to move as many persons from continental Europe. We participated in Expo Dubai earlier this year, and there's significant interest in this solution, significant. Again, it's for us to establish the routes where people can visit from those parts of the world. And in the next couple of years, that will be a priority for us as we seek to establish those routes to bring more persons to meet the demand, because the demand is there. But of course, we have to make sure it is high enough to justify some of the airlift that we need.
Yeah, absolutely. How are you using digital media, social media to really kind of let the world know about simulation?
Well, I mean, it's quite interesting you ask that question, because it is something we continue to mull over. Some of the traditional methodologies of disseminating information and the challenge. So through digital space, you can get a lot more reach for less cost actually. And there's the generations are now more favored in that direction. So we are constantly having to identify which sector, which is the best methodology modality to reach to them. In terms of value for money, which is the best. The market is actually in a constant state of evolution now, and data is becoming so critical. But where you get the most data from is from digital, and not necessarily from the traditional newsprints and magazines and face-to-face. You actually get a lot of data from the digital, really targeted information. So we're very big on digital, but we're not going to abandon some of the traditional modalities. They're still very powerful for us, and especially for our target group, because of the nature of the product that we have, which is still on the luxury side compared to the mass consumption side. So it's critical for us to maintain some of the traditional.
Mr. Hilaire, I really appreciate you taking time to talk to us today. Thank you very much for your wise words.
My pleasure. Thanks
Thank
a lot.
you.
Yeah.